Welcome to the garden, everybody. My name is Psyxi, aka the first ever competitive Twizzler eater. And I'm joined today by my co-host, Deven.
Howdy.
So, Deven, this is the first ever Into the Garden podcast episode. This is crazy.
It is.
So we do have a few topics written down.
Before we get into these topics, you said a Twizzler eater, competitive Twizzler eater.
Yeah, I'm the first ever competitive Twizzler eater.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like those
a title few have.
Yeah,
few can acquire.
I'm actually the only one to have it. Surprisingly, apparently, I talked to Guinness Book of World Records about it, and they said that they've done a lot of dumb stuff in their books, but that one was just a little too dumb. I mean, Ripley, believe it or not, will be there eventually.
Well, one can hope, right? One can hope.
Hopefully, someday.
Yeah.
Well, I guess let's hop into the first topic, I guess. It's kind of weird to be doing this, but let's go ahead. So, basically, I guess let's start with the obvious one. What is Into the Garden?
Did you want to explain that, or?
I mean, you can go ahead and explain it. I'll explain the next question.
Oh, okay. Into the Garden itself is just the podcast that you are listening to now, that you are hopefully listening to now, if you are. We very much appreciate it.
That you are enjoying with your ears right now.
Yes. But yeah, so this is pretty much just the podcast for our group, The Garden, which we will get more into detail with in the next question, if Nick, you would like to go into that.
Yeah, awesome. So, basically, what's the garden? So the garden is I think I best said it in in our first tweet, which is it's basically just a collective of lovely people. Most of those being content creators, but if they're not a content creator, they're just a normal everyday average casual gamer.
It's okay, sound it out.
I know. Hey, cut. No. So yeah, we're a collective of people, ranging anywhere from the casual gamer to content creators of all shapes and forms. So we have artists, graphic designers, video makers, pretty much anything other than knitters. We don't have those. So if you do knit things, please do join us.
We have a special place on our hearts.
Yeah, I will make you a custom role if you knit. But you have to be able to prove it.
A role on what though, Nick?
Oh, a role on our Discord server. So the garden not only is part of this podcast. It's not just a group of friends calling themselves the garden. But we also do have a Discord server, which is actually linked in the description below. And also on our social medias and stuff, which is also linked below. It's crazy.
All right. As for the next question, what are our future plans for the podcast? Not podcast. What are our future plans for the garden as a whole? As of right now, our main focus is just growing our the community or fan base in a sense, and getting more people involved in Discord and all that, because this is something that we wanna put a good amount of effort into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make successful in a sense.
Yeah.
So we as of right now, we want to work more on the podcast and growing the Discord, as I said. But in the future, we definitely want to go more into content creation on an actual group channel where you could see game highlights or just random clips ranging from whatever it may be that we're playing, or just us hanging out in voice channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that just doing kind of a I've already used the word, but kind of just a collective channel for everybody's kind of talents and stuff to show to shine through on the on a garden YouTube channel, which hopefully if you're listening to this, you are listening to it on the garden YouTube channel. If I wasn't lazy and actually made it, which guaranteed it is. If you look down, please check the name of the channel. While you're down there, please hit subscribe, of course. Please, we need it. This is how I pay for my kids' alimony. um yeah, so I mean that's the very short I guess description of what we plan to do in the future with the garden. We've been saying the garden a lot, and as for right now, I think people can only tell that we're a part of it, but we do actually have a huge kind of roster, if you can call it that, of just all again, of all different types of people. But we do have a main four, which we like to call the garbage gang. Part of the garbage gang is not only Deven and myself, but we have two very beautiful people named Katie at Charweewee on Twitter. And
all of our links are going to be in the description, so
yeah,
you can check them out.
Please do. We need, again, that's how I pay for my my kids' alimony.
In these trying times.
But we also so not only is it Katie again at Charweewee on Twitter, but we also have Kaji at Kajaki on Twitter, or is it at Kajaki's? I can't remember.
It's Kajaki's. I probably butchered that a little bit.
Again, it will be down in the description. But yeah, those are the main four of our little garbage gang, of the
our collective,
our little collective. That's gonna be our word for this podcast. That's pretty much the little brisk,
the gist of summing up what the garden is, what we plan to do, so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we got through that first topic. I was expecting that to last a little bit longer, but I mean, we
can always come back to it at a later point if need be.
But yeah, if any more, like, if anything else kind of
if anything else comes to mind. Yeah,
exactly. Do we want to move on to the next topic? Question
mark. Yeah, sure, we can.
Awesome. Alrighty. So we do have a lot of kind of just more, I guess, lighthearted topics during this like
more interesting per se.
Yeah, just kind of take away from the us just plugging all of our social medias.
Yeah.
And, just to kind of explain, I guess, more a little bit about us, right?
Yeah.
So the next topic that we have on our list is cartoons. So basically just talking about all of our kind of our favorite cartoons or least favorite cartoons, and like which cartoons could have done.
Oh wait, sorry to interrupt you and kind of backtrack a little bit.
Oh no, absolutely.
I think we forgot to kind of explain more on what each of the main four do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is a very good point. We're backtracking.
Sorry, that wasn't in the script, guys.
It wasn't in the script, guys. This is why we need to get a group together. This is why we need somebody who scripts out all of our podcasts, Deven. You're going off. You're going off cue card.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what you do, Deven?
Sure. For those who don't already follow me on Twitter and are coming to this podcast and the garden in general from my Twitter, pretty much I'm just a designer. There's nothing more to it. I post videos on my YouTube channel occasionally, not very often because technical difficulties have arisen, but we will work them out, hopefully. But yeah, so I design some stuff ranging from like YouTube thumbnails to all sorts of stuff like Twitch designs, Twitter designs, a bunch of stuff.
Just a lot of stuff.
Yes, a jack of maybe 5 trades, you could say.
At least 5 trades.
The bare minimum.
Don't let Deven fool you. He's a very talented graphic designer. He is actually the one that designed the little it's simple, but the little text logo that we have right on the screen.
I would say we all put an equal amount of effort into
kind of what you're seeing.
What you see on your screen right now if you're watching on YouTube.
I'll save myself for last. So both Katie and Kaji do I would say very similar things. They're both artists on Twitter. Again, they make some of the most beautiful art that I've ever seen in my entire life. Uh, Actually, Katie is the person that drew the little floating island that you see right now.
Yeah.
And again, looks gorgeous, looks beautiful. Unfortunately, we don't have anything of Kaji's up on the screen right now. Hopefully, we'll be able to change that in the future.
Yeah.
But
I mean, this isn't anything I guess notable in my opinion that we can say. But if anybody would like to see like active examples, they can always pull up her Twitter while listening to this.
oh,
Or if you were to
absolutely.
go to my Twitter, my hoping or assuming at the time this is uploaded, I'll probably still have the same icon. She made that for me, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah, they are both extremely talented artists. And Devin makes an extremely good point. Uh, Definitely, while you're listening to this, open up
Feel free
all
to,
those links in the description and drop
yeah,
everybody a follow. Um, they definitely deserve it. Uh, Speaking of people that don't deserve follows, that would be me. My name's
stop that.
Nick. My name's Nick. I go by Psyxi most of the time though.
Boot boy,
Boop
as
boy.
you know.
Basically, I'm a video creator, a YouTuber, if you will, an influencer, um, the competitive Twizzler eater of the century. Uh, I haven't uploaded in a long time because I took a little bit of a hiatus from just the internet in general. But hopefully, by the time that this podcast goes up, or hopefully soon
Soon
after the
after.
podcast goes up, I will have uploaded a couple of videos. I'm hoping to come back with a what's the word? A fury. So if you like people screaming about random stuff while playing video games and almost crying at video games, uh, due to them being scary or due to them just being bad at video games, definitely check out my channel. That'll also be in the description below. And drop me a subscribe because, again, as I've stated multiple times, my children's alimony. um, no, but
In
yeah,
these trying times, we need all that you can give,
we need all that you can give us. Please do.
whether that be from an egg from Danny DeVito himself to a simple subscription on the YouTube channel.
Or if you just want to give us $2,000 via Venmo,
I mean, this
our
works
Venmo
too.
is give us money,
At
please,
Cash
at the
App,
garden.
please.
Uh,
Please Cash App.
Yeah, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We accept all forms of payment. We accept
We
Bitcoin.
need a free Rocky the Raccoon.
Yeah, free Rocky the Raccoon. He got taken by the IRS.
We won't talk anymore about that though.
Yeah, we don't. uh, yeah, that's pretty much what all of us do in the Garbage Gang as a very just basic overlook of everybody. Again, seriously, check everybody out. They are just wonderful content
We're
creators.
pretty neat, if I did say so myself.
We're at least a solid 6 out of 10. And
I would say 8.
Okay, you guys 8. I'll give myself a 7.5 since I haven't posted anything in forever.
I will get, if we're rating ourselves individually, I would give myself 6.5 out of 10. If we're rating as a group, I say 8.
Yeah,
on
average, Katie and Kaji are a 10 out of 10, and they just kind of carry us along with that average.
Yes.
So definitely.
I'm not very interesting as a person, so I would say yes, that is 100% true. Everybody in this collective of me, Nick, Katie, Kaji carries me.
It's kind of, yeah, it's just like very.
I have a few stands myself, though.
Yeah, join the Discord server, please. Stan Deven.
Oh, I even have my own custom emote or emoji. I don't know what they're called in Discord. I just say emote.
Emote. I think it's an emote.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Shall we move on to cartoons? Cartoon Land?
Yeah, sure. We can now finally get to cartoons.
So, Devin, what cartoons do you like?
I'm not gonna. I don't watch much television anymore, or as of like lately. The only show that I find myself watching that's a cartoon is Gumball.
Oh,
which
that is one that wasn't on my list because I have a little list mocked up. That was one that wasn't on my list, but that is a wonderful show.
like I said, I don't watch much TV, like really as of late at all, because pretty much like after I would say once Gravity Falls ended, which is a top tier show in my opinion. I love that show.
Please, yeah,
Uh,
if you guys haven't watched Gravity Falls, please do yourself the just the bare minimum and at least watch one season of it, because I guarantee you if you watch the first season, you'll watch the second one because you'll get that hooked onto it.
yeah, but yeah. So once again, I don't watch much TV much anymore. So when I do, the only cartoon I find myself watching is Gumball. I guess you could say SpongeBob too, but even then, I don't watch it that much because it's kind of like all the same episodes there, so it's nothing you wouldn't have seen before.
Yeah,
Uh,
true.
if we're just talking about cartoons in general, anime is pretty nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, is there any do you have any anime recommendations for those listening to this at home?
Um, the only one I can recommend that I personally would think that a lot of people would like is this really old. I don't remember if you were there in the voice chat with me and Brandon when we were talking about it, but it's one called Durara. I think I said that right.
Oh, the yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I really liked it. It has 2 seasons. And it was released in 2010, I believe. So, and I would say that that's probably like the oldest anime I've watched in terms of like when it was released. I'm gonna get into Cowboy Bebop soon. But yeah, no, I really liked it. Both seasons were great, and I feel like it it definitely. I mean, considering it's an old one, I would definitely say I would love to see more animes do what they do or what they did. Whereas what they did was instead of like they have their main character and then they have the side characters, but they don't just have the side characters just to have them. They actually build upon each individual side character pretty well to the point where they find a way to progress the story pretty much perfectly without making us forget what was actually happening to the main character.
That's okay.
So yeah, so like the main character could be like for example going to like trying to think of a scenario that like would probably work. But the main character would be like going to the store, right? Or like going on vacation
Okay.
and they would give like let's say 3 4 episodes to, like a side character
That's pretty rad.
while they're doing that with the side character and like following them primarily, like here and there you would get
It
like a
would cut
cutback
to
to the
the
main character, so I be like you're still up to date with them, if that makes
okay.
sense.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That totally makes
Sorry if that
sense.
was me just rambling, if that was
No, no.
confusing. It's more or less something that like you need to watch to find out. But I really like it. I like it
Okay.
a lot.
And then what is that what's that anime called one more time?
Durara, if anything, I'll just comment it on the video
Okay,
because
everybody look in the comments of this video to find the title of
it's
this
like
anime.
it's literally just like Dura and then Rara, and I don't want to butcher that because I don't want to sound like an idiot.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So anyway, what about you? What about you, Nick?
So I think like if we're talking about just general cartoons, like not ones that I've watched recently, um, it would definitely have to be the obvious one is Adventure Time. Um, Adventure Time is a beautifully crafted show.
Oh,
Uh,
I thought we were going off like ones that are like still around and like they haven't like ended.
oh, that haven't ended. Ooh,
Oh
I
no, no, I was gonna say because if we're including ones that like have ended already,
oh
like
yeah,
Gravity Falls, stuff like that.
yeah, I was just I was thinking I was talking about the question
There's
was
more like
just
in general.
yeah in general like
Oh, okay
cartoons
then.
that have made you feel something.
Oh yeah, then I would to add onto my list of like what is it, Gumball and some anime. I would say Gravity Falls, regular show, and what was it, Over the Garden Wall, right?
Those are the three on my list as well because I think
Yeah,
that um again if you haven't seen any of those shows, which I think that Adventure
I would
Time,
like to think
regular
that
show, and
everybody has
Gravity
seen at
Falls,
least. What were you saying?
I think that out of those four, Gravity Falls, Adventure Time, and regular show, those are probably ones that at least a fair few people have seen.
Yeah, I would like to think that like out of everybody who would be watching this and listening to this, I would like to think a good majority of them, if not all of them, had at least seen like a couple episodes or at least one episode of
like
each of
here
them.
and there.
Yeah,
But
because they were
I
fairly
think a
popular when they were still airing.
yeah, exactly. I think that they're still super popular even like off air.
Oh
Um,
yeah, because pirating, yeah,
Woo! Watch cartoonsonline.io. Watch cartoonsonline.io.
yeah.
A perfect website. But back to back to what I was saying. I think that a very highly underrated show is Over the Garden Wall. It is, if you have not watched this show, you are doing yourself a big disservice. It is legit only 10 episodes long. It is a the like the soundtrack to it is beautiful. The animation style is gorgeous. The comedy is just top tier. It's just a very I would say just a very wholesome and very nostalgic feeling
Lighthearted
cartoon. Yeah, it's a
would you say?
very it's very lighthearted with a very kind of scary undertone. Because there's a super creepy undertone to it. So if you kind of like cartoons that make you like just it rips out your heartstrings, Over the Garden Wall is by far the highest recommendation I can give. It is an 11 out of 10 show. It's perfect in every single way.
Yeah, I remember when it first came out. I mean, I finished it, but it's been so long, and like it's one of those where it's like I want to rewatch it, but I can't find any place that has it. You
Again,
know?
watch cartoonsonline.io.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think that that was. I thought that you were just like making
Oh
something up
no
of
no
like
no.
a pirated website.
I'm plugging it. That
Oh,
is a beautiful website to watch pretty much any cartoon.
I'll have
Because
to check it out. I mean,
yeah,
because I when I rewatch like the entirety of regular show, like every single season, I watched it on a kisscartoon.io, I think it was.
okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, I really liked the show from what I can remember of it at least.
Yeah, it's definitely a show that I think if you haven't watched it at least like 3 times all the way through, you need to watch it like again.
You can't
Like
say like, or you can't really have fully enjoyed it
yeah,
in a way.
yeah, it sort of. I would say that like you can definitely have enjoyed it with one watch through. I think with like 3 watch throughs at least, you get to a point to where you notice really small details, or um, it's like since you know the overall story arc, you can kind of focus in on certain aspects of that story arc and
Yeah, like
really
you can
feel
shift
it
your
out.
attention from more of the story to just the smaller details.
Yeah, like watching the characters,
Yeah,
like rather than watching like the main front characters that are only talking, you can like look in the background and watch for other little things like uh the like all the side characters in that show I think are just so funny and just so so charming. That's the word that I was looking for
charming.
yeah, it's a very charming show. um well, okay. We have been talking about shows that we
We
love
like.
for
Yeah,
for quite some time, but let's flip
not
that.
necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, not a bad thing at all. Again,
But we do have a couple more things that we would like
yeah.
to go on
Uh,
to.
um, let's flip that switch, right? So let's talk about shows that um either we disliked because we can combine these two questions into one. Either
Yeah,
um either
ones that we disliked and ones that we feel like could have been done a bit better.
yeah, exactly. Like basically shows because I think that there one show in particular that me and you have talked about a
Yeah,
lot.
shall not be named.
Shall not be named. Well, we can name drop it in just a bit.
Yeah,
Are there
Steven
any
Universe.
shows? Steven yeah. So we would come back to Steven Universe because that will take 15 minutes at least by itself.
I would say we can confidently speak about our hatred for
And
how the show developed for at least 30 minutes.
yeah, because I wouldn't say that it's
But we
hatred.
both
It is
oh
a
yeah, more
it,
just like I just dislike how it developed. That's how I would
exactly.
probably go about it.
Basically, it is
If you want to just summarize your thoughts on it, and then we can focus more on like
on
the
other
questions,
shows.
and we don't. Yeah, and then we just
Um,
don't need to worry about coming back to it. Just like
okay,
summarize our
yeah.
thoughts on it.
So to summarize, mine and Devin's collective thoughts on Steven Universe. Basically, it is not a show that I don't think that we hate it per se.
Yeah, like just sorry again for like
no.
interrupting and all that. But just to clarify, we're not saying that we don't like it or that it's a bad show. It's more
Things weren't
think
done properly.
After a certain, I would say after season 1, there was kind of things that could have been done better, and then it kind of not necessarily spiraled downhill, because I would say even after that point of like it going a bit downhill, there were still like diamonds in the rough.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Like there's very
like there were a couple episodes after, like I would say their not point of no return, but I would say there's definitely a good handful of episodes that I can say I enjoyed of it.
yeah,
Despite
exactly.
like everything about it being like, okay, this is kind of
So basically to summarize our thoughts on Steven Universe, basically there is a if you guys don't know, there's about 170 episodes of Steven Universe, including the kind of
filler.
second series called Steven Universe Future. There's 170 episodes in total. About 135 of those are filler. So
Wait, really that much?
yeah, I looked at multiple lists of shows that are episodes that would be considered essential. Like you would need to watch it to
Like
get the full
story?
story. Yeah, story driven episodes. And
That's the term, yeah, story driven.
only about 35 of those episodes out of the 170, so this is including Steven Universe Future, were needed. Which yeah, in short, I think it is okay for shows to have filler. In some cases, I think they actually need filler. But 135 episodes of filler versus your 35 episodes of story-driven episodes, it seems a little bit ridiculous to me. And again, that is not to say that the show is bad because of this. I just think that it could have been better if they spent a little bit more time and maybe stretched out those 35 episodes among, another maybe 35 episodes. Like, again, still 70 to 100 to 70 is not good odds in terms of filler to non-filler. But yeah, that's that is the one main, I think, thing of Steven Universe that kind of irks me. But there's a few other small, like, little things, like stuff like storyboarding.
Also, just to like kind of clarify in a sense, I wouldn't say necessarily that the storyboarding, or not storyboarding, like the scaling, like them there being like inconsistencies with like the scaling of characters from
Yeah,
like scaling going across episodes. Like I wouldn't say that that necessarily like makes me enjoy the show less, because like in the end it's still like
it's
like the
just the
story can be
visual,
good.
pretty much.
Yeah, like granted that is a pretty big part, I would say, when it comes down to cartoons, but I wouldn't say that like it drastically like impacted my opinion of the show or the episode,
Oh,
whatever it may be.
oh yeah, absolutely. Basically, it's a very nitpicky thing, but I think that it is still something that should be brought to light. Is that the scaling in some of the episodes was off almost in every scene, where characters would be either bigger or smaller than they were supposed to. There was a lot of again, a lot of filler. I think that those are the main 2 points that we just do not. That it's what we think Steven Universe could have done better. Basically, made more story driven episodes, and made a more consistent art style. And
I wouldn't say art style. I would
not art
say
style.
the better
Sizing.
scaling.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
more consistent scale to characters. But yeah, again, we've been kind of backtracking on our on our thoughts about Steven Universe, but to
Yeah.
to make one I guess blanket statement over the whole entire thing, um Steven Universe again is a wonderful show. I think that the music is beautifully done, the art style is beautiful, the concept overall is outstanding. um it could have been so
Executed
rad.
a little bit better after a certain point, pretty
Just a
much.
little bit, yeah, just a
Yeah,
little bit better.
not by like a lot, because once again, we're not saying it's a bad show. We're not saying that we don't like the show. We
Please
like
don't
the
kill us,
show.
Steven Universe stands.
Yeah, we don't. I don't exactly want people with Steven and Connie kissing as their avatar on Twitter coming on to my DM saying you're canceled. I don't want that. I'm sorry. I really am. But yeah, no, we're not saying that's a bad show. We're not saying we don't like the show. We both like the show. Uh, we both don't think it's a bad show at all. It's just like Nick said, everything about it, art style, concept, uh,
Music.
music, everything about it is great. Just after a certain point, it could have been executed a tiny bit better in certain aspects across the board. That would have made it. I would. I don't want to say perfect because once again, not once again, but nothing's perfect.
Yeah,
You can't really say that.
everything
But
can
I would
always
say,
be improved.
yeah. But yeah, so that summarizes our thoughts.
Our thoughts on Steven Universe. Are there
Yeah.
any other shows that you think could have either done their concept better? Is there any shows that you just completely dislike?
I will. Okay, so there's a couple that I want to talk about, or just kind of like list.
Okay.
I did not like Uncle Grandpa
Okay.
or that show Clarence at all.
Those are two very good examples because I think
Like I'm not gonna say that they're bad shows because, like, I mean, looking at them, they're more aimed towards like kids, so I can
yeah,
get that
absolutely.
and why like I wouldn't like them. But at the same time, it's like I mean, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure when like Uncle Grandpa and Clarence were airing still. This was when like regular show, Gumball, and Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, like shows
Yeah.
like that were still airing. So it was like you had those to compare them to in a sense of like, okay, like this show is pretty funny. Whereas like regular show, for example, that I would say that show is pretty fucking funny.
Oh,
Not all the time, but like if you were to look at it and say like, yeah, no, the show's pretty funny. Like the jokes that they make, like you can understand. Like they're not like aimed specifically at kids in a sense.
exactly. Yeah,
Whereas
absolutely.
whereas like Uncle Grandpa is kind of like I hate using the term because I hate how I hate hearing myself say it, but it's the only word I can think of. I felt like Uncle Grandpa was just cringe, and
Yeah.
I once again I hate saying that word.
I would say Uncle Grandpa was just a very dumbed down show.
Yeah,
Um,
like I'm fine with things being dumbed down for like humor and all, and like for like comedic aspects,
yeah,
but I felt like
absolutely.
it was more or less dumbed down way too much, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like it got to a point to where it was less about the, what was going on in the show, and more
And
about
just
it was very
uh,
episodic.
I would say my opinion, not my opinion, my blanket statement, as you said about it, is that it to summarize it is just hey, I look at me, I did the funny, I did the haha, and then
Exactly.
that's it. That would be how I would describe it.
It's
Other people can have their opinions on that.
yeah, and I think that I
Same thing with Clarence. It's kind of like, look at me, I did the dumb, I'm ha 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 funny,
I think
stuff like that.
whereas Uncle Grandpa for me is one of those shows that I just kind of generally just had a disdain for and I disliked it. Um,
Yeah,
I think
I'll
Clarence
admit
is one of those.
I gave Clarence and Uncle Grandpa both like not a chance. Well, yeah, no, in a sense, yeah, I gave them a chance and I watched them. I just I couldn't find any like enjoyment in it.
Yeah, I think that Clarence could have been done a lot better. It's one of those
Oh
shows that
yeah,
I think could have been just a very it's a very simple concept. And
yeah,
actually I think I have like a little bit of a bias towards Clarence because if people listening at home do not know, I'm from the beautiful, super hot state of Arizona.
He's from the iced tea.
From Ice Tea State, Arizona.
Yeah.
Clarence is actually it takes place in a fictional town in Arizona. So I have a little bit of a bias towards it, but I think that I kind of liked the art style. There was some things here and there about it that could have been again executed a little bit better. Because it's like it's kind of funny because like Jeff is a square because he's a square, like as in the term.
Yeah.
And
he is Minecraft Steve.
He's Minecraft Steve, but IRL. And from what I've heard, I need to give Clarence an actual like full out chance and sit down and watch it, because from what I've heard, Clarence actually has a really good underarching story, where it's kind of hidden underneath the stupidity.
Yeah.
And
the thing with sorry, my bad.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
The thing with like when I'm comparing Uncle Grandpa and Clarence, when I look at Uncle Grandpa, like I said, I gave both the shows a chance. I would say that if I were to go back and have to watch one of them, I can say 100% confidently I would choose Clarence any day over Uncle Grandpa.
Absolutely.
And it's not saying because like, okay, it's less stupid or less like dumbed down than the other. Like, I'll admit, like, Clarence is one of those shows, like, yeah, I didn't like it, but it wasn't a bad show entirely. Like, I could sit through it, watch it, and not get like not necessarily annoyed, but I can sit through it, watch it like episodes or whatever, and not say like, oh, this is
not feel like
dumb.
You're kind of like losing brain cells as you watch it.
Yeah, it's like you said, it has like that underarching story underneath everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily like when it was airing, and like a few episodes that I would watch here and there when it was airing, I didn't necessarily like see the underlying story.
Yeah.
But I can, like I said, I can sit down and sit through watching the show.
Yeah,
whereas
absolutely.
Uncle Grandpa, if I were to sit down and watch Uncle Grandpa for like 24 hours straight,
I think I would die.
My mind.
It's like
I feel like I'd go insane. Like I
you know
wake
those
up the next morning.
I can't remember what the form of torture is called, but it's basically like when somebody like sits you down watching the same exact thing over and over again, and you're not able to close your eyes or move. I feel like that is the if you played Uncle Grandpa for me, I feel like I would go insane. Like, and it could be completely different episodes. It would not have to be the exact same episode over and over again. Because Uncle Grandpa just felt like a fever dream. Like, it felt very like it was at some points Uncle Grandpa was terrifying. And that's coming from like I think the last time I watched Uncle Grandpa was when I was 17, 18. So that was coming from a 17 or 18-year-old's perspective. I literally if I was watching Uncle Grandpa at night, it would have been those things where I had to like look around and see that nobody's in my dark room. It is a terrifying show. But again, I think that it in a way that was kind of what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a fever dream of a show.
Yeah. Do we want to move on to the next segment?
Yeah, why not? So
did you want to start off this time?
You go ahead and start off. I think I started off cartoons mainly.
Oh, okay. So next the segment of the video or podcast. I said video. Oh my god. The next segment of the podcast.
Welcome back to the vlog, everybody.
What's going on, guys? My name is David Dobrik. Welcome back. Today's vlog is sponsored by SeatGeek. But yeah, no. So next segment of the podcast, we wanted to talk but we wanted to touch on video games, whether that be old, new, just let loose. What was one of the video games or video games that you played a lot growing up, Nick?
So when we were writing this list, I had to sit down and think about it for a while. There was two main games, or I guess three main, four main games, four main games that came to mind. So, it was either Sly Cooper, which if you don't know, do you know what Sly Cooper is, Devin?
I do not.
So Sly Cooper was about a raccoon who would go.
Yes, I can see why you like it already.
Exactly. And
I know your undying love for raccoons and possums.
Let me tell you how creative this game was. It was about a raccoon who was a thief, and he had to go and steal the thing. He had to go and get back his family heirloom book called The Thievius Raccoonus. It was a beautiful game with beautiful bosses. It had I think it had 4 versions of it, because there was Sly Cooper 1, Sly Cooper 2, Sly Cooper 3, and then Sly Cooper like Thieves in Time, which was one where you got to go back and play as ancestors of Sly. Your 2 main companions was Bentley, which was a turtle in a wheelchair, or it was a turtle who in the it was a turtle which in the first one could walk, but in the first one he got hurt, and in the second one he was in a wheelchair.
He was crippled in between.
Yeah. And then a hippopotamus named Murray, and he was like the brawn of the group, whereas Bentley was the brains of the group, and he was like there was different ones where you would like drive in destruction derbies and stuff like that.
I'm just imagining, like, when you said driving in destruction derbies, the first thing that came to mind was like Grand Theft Auto. What was it, Arena Wars or something like that?
It's pretty much exactly that, but imagine
imagining like a raccoon, a hippopotamus, and then a disabled turtle in just in like a car driving around like an arena, just minigun on top of their like van.
Okay, what? Oh my god. Yeah, okay. No, yeah, you got it. That's literally it.
What?
There is a point where they are literally driving their van that has a minigun mounted on top of it. Or
oh my gosh.
It's so rad.
Man, this new Call of Duty looks sick.
It is the coolest game, and I think you should really give it a try. The other 3 that I had in mind was Jak and Daxter, which had multiple variants of it, but the main one I remember was Jak and Daxter 1 and Jak and Daxter 3, because I remember 3 you could drive cars in it, and I thought that was the coolest thing, because for a while the only kind of like open world driving game was Grand Theft Auto, and then Jak and Daxter 3 came out, and it kind of like sparked this kind of cartoony, very kid friendly in the way that kind of like old cartoons are kid friendly, where there's a lot of hidden like innuendos. It was a very like it was super cool to me. And then there was Ratchet and Clank, which
yes, Ratchet and Clank,
which Ratchet and Clank has some of the best names, such as I think that there was like Pain in the Arsenal, which it's just hilarious to me. And a lot of the time they had to change their names for US releases because they were just that bad. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank was really cool. I remember playing the first one mainly, which was like at one point you had to go and save your favorite superhero. Like it was like kind of a superhero from the world of Ratchet and Clank. And then
God damn it, Spider-Man. What'd you get into this time?
Dang it, Spidey. See, it was Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and then I think there's one more that I'm forgetting. That'll pop into my head eventually. But one that there's also like Kingdom Hearts, which Kingdom Hearts was super rad. Especially the first and second.
I might get yelled at for this, but I've never played a Kingdom Hearts. I've watched it. It looks amazing.
It is.
I really like the game, even though I've only just watched it. But
if you ever get a chance to play it, I highly recommend it. Of course, me being like kind of like a Kingdom Hearts purist, I think that you should start with Kingdom Hearts 1, just because it kind of it's a very I said this about a cartoon earlier, but it's a very charming video game. So definitely start with 1, then go to 2. In 2, you were able to ride a skateboard, which was rad.
Yes, dude.
I think even in 1 you might have been able to ride a skateboard, but I can't quite remember because I think you were able to ride a skateboard in the Christmas town in Nightmare Before Christmas. So it was pretty rad. Those are like the main games that come to mind whenever I think of like, nostalgic video games growing up. What about you? What games did you partake in while you were a youngin?
Drugs. Wait, what?
Wait, no, I said game, not.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, wait. So okay, wait. Cut it.
I mean, kind of touching more on, or not more, but kind of touching on what you were saying about Kingdom Hearts. Wow. Well, let me drink some water.
Yeah, I've been having to do that intermittently.
Yeah, no. Touching on what you were saying about like Kingdom Hearts, I had known about it like way before like I knew what it was called, because younger me, like every time like I'd go to like Florida or something like that for like a vacation, or it just was there.
Yeah.
Like every now and again, like I'd see like, I wouldn't see videos of it. I would more see like pictures of it and like merchandise of it.
Okay.
And I don't know, like even though merchandise always has like the logo of the whatever it is on it, and then it has the actual merchandise.
Yeah, where it's like,
like 3-year-old me was just kind of like, ooh,
whoa,
Dumble Buck, Goofy, ooh,
Goofy.
But yeah, no, like younger me, like I would see it, I'd be like, wait, that wasn't in the last Mickey Mouse movie. Who is this? Like younger me seeing Donald Duck and Goofy
with a sword
next to a human was like mind blowing for me. I was like, holy shit.
You're like, what is happening?
What happened? Like, I kid you not, I can say this confidently. I saw it for the first time. I was like, what happened to Mickey? What did they do to him?
What did they do to him?
And then,
who is this anthropomorphic piece of garbage?
Yeah, and then like I don't remember, if I don't actually know at all if this was like throughout every single game, but Mickey like in a dark cloak, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's you see him at the end of the first game, or you might see him intermittently throughout the game, but yeah, Mickey is a complete and utter just complete badass in Kingdom Hearts.
But yeah, like I would see like once again, I would see like the merchandise, like so like action figures or just like little like figurines, I guess you could say, of the characters, and I saw one of Mickey in like the black cloak.
Yeah.
And at that time, I would say it was around, not around the time, but I had I don't know if you know what it was, Fantasia.
Yeah, Fantasia.
Like that Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like where it's like he controls all the mops.
Yeah, dude. We'll have to swing back around to something in a bit, but keep going.
Yeah, but like I would see Mickey in like the black cloak, and immediately my fresh thought would be like, that wasn't in Fantasia. And I was like, good. Wait, what happened to Mickey?
What happened to Mickey?
What did they do
Who's this bad boy Mickey?
Exactly. But yeah, no. So now, actually, going on to like games I played growing up. I mean, considering like you're older than me, and like the games you grew up with are gonna probably be different.
Yeah, different.
I've grown up with.
Because how old are you, Deven?
I am junior high school.
Okay. So,
yeah,
and I graduated high school in 2017.
Yeah, so these might seem more like modern, which I mean you can't really avoid that.
Oh no, but, it's legit. It's like whatever's nostalgic to you, it's nostalgic to you, homie.
Oh yeah, but in terms of like first ever game I played, there was a SpongeBob game I had on my computer like years and years ago.
Okay.
Where it was like part of me, it's like every time I look up like the scenes and like the levels, I can never find it. So it makes me think it's like one of those things where it's like I thought it was real.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. What is that? Like what, the Mandela effect? Something like
yeah, the Mandela effect.
Yeah, so like I'm sitting here looking up like Mr. Krabs fights robot and knocks his ass out. And I'm like,
badass Mr. Krabs Robo Man fight.
Like it seems like even Google is telling me something's up. But
it sends you like it'll send you like the number for like a drug abuse hotline.
Are you suffering from a drug addiction and having some trouble mentally? Here,
Some
call this number.
flashbacks.
It's like, I'm sorry, I just wanted to find SpongeBob game. But yeah, no, like that was probably like the first video game like I played, like on my computer at least.
Okay.
And this is gonna sound like pretty cliche, I would say, but like I said, nothing you can do about it. I found my Game Boy when I was younger.
Okay.
My Patrick Star Game Boy. It wasn't actually a Patrick Star Game Boy. It was just a green Game Boy and had a Patrick Star sticker on the back.
Rad.
So I found that, and I'd found a Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, the like the cartridges, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, and I'd play it all the time. I didn't like because I was younger, obviously. It was more or less something that I was like, oh, this is cool. I didn't actually like play to like beat the game. I was just kind of like, oh wow, this is pretty cool.
To be honest, I think that was almost every kid. I don't think I actually completed a video game until probably like high school.
Damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was like, I would say, if we're not counting like the SpongeBob game on my computer, I would say probably Pokemon was my very first video game.
Okay.
And then another game or like series of games that aren't necessarily nostalgic, but they did come out like I would say a fairly long time ago, were the Club Penguin DS games.
You mentioned this earlier. I do not know what you're talking about.
So, I'm gonna try and avoid like geeking out about this because I could go all the way in depth about
Dude,
this, but we got other stuff.
Devin,
but also
Devin, we are at 52 minutes currently. We have enough time. Please geek out over it.
So, I mean, there's not really much to geek out about. That was more just me exaggerating, but I can go a bit more in depth. So pretty much, well, have you ever played Club Penguin or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so pretty much, it's Club Penguin, but and you know how on, yeah, you don't have online because Nintendo's online is kind of bad, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But so if you've played Club Penguin, so you know how they have like the spies or like the secret agents.
Yes.
The DS games are pretty much focused on like that. Like you play the game as like someone who is like someone who
is a part of the,
who isn't a part of it at first, but like there's like like the agents, like they've been like they keep an eye on you for a while now, like stalked you.
Oh my god.
Not actually, but like they say like when you meet them, they're like, oh, we've been keeping an eye on you, and you passed the test. And by test, they mean they were just random mailboxes in the most out of place areas of like the map.
If you beat the game, you get drafted into the CIA.
Yeah, but it was like, you like there's like little like pieces of a paper that's like a really like scuffed ass map. And it's like once you get all the pieces and like you put it together, it gives you the location that they want you to go to, and then when you go there, like the agent was like, yo, we've been watching you pass the test, we want you to join, you to join our secret agency. And then like you obviously, that's what the game is about, you have to say yes. But yeah, so like you join them, and then like you do all the missions.
Okay.
And there's two of them, like I said. The first one is more so just really simple stuff, nothing major. And it's like, okay, this person needs help, go help them.
Okay.
And then like you train with like the puffles and stuff like that, and then eventually like you beat the game, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I don't remember how it starts off, but it kind of like, it in a sense it picks up where the last one left off in a way, because in the last one, like towards like I would say like towards the end, but not entirely at the end, you go through a test, or not a test. Uh, like there's like the big like final like boss battle in a way,
Okay.
and like once you finish that, like you pretty much beat the game. And then the second one starts off with like you doing like all the training in like different areas of like the different puffles, and then like toward at the end, or not at the end, like the first mission is like you work with puffles, then you go to the next level, you got to cross a river, and like it introduces all the mini games
What is
and
this
stuff like that.
fever dream of a game?
It was really fun. I liked it a lot. Dude, younger, this was the first time that younger me had beaten a game.
Really?
Yes, and that might just be because it was so much tinier IQ than having to like realize type advantages in Pokemon. Be like, yes, fire is weak to water.
The
Like me going to the water gym, be like, yes, my fire lizard can 100% tank a hit from a fire hydrant getting thrown at him. But yeah, no. So it was
the
like
average IQ of somebody who's beaten the Club Penguin game is like 18.
I guess so. But yeah, so it's called Penguin Games. And then I would say the last one I can consider nostalgic in a way is what is it? Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh,
which
for sure.
I will not stand for hearing anybody say otherwise. You can think otherwise, you can tell me otherwise, but I'm not gonna believe you. San Andreas is the best Grand Theft Auto.
I think
I will stick by that.
I think in terms of um nostalgia for me, yes. I think in terms of story, GTA 5 has it.
Oh yeah, no. Obviously, like it, in like at certain aspects, but to me, it has that nostalgia factor, and
yeah.
also, just obviously, like it. I would say it's unfair to compare San Andreas
to GTA 5
to Grand Theft Auto 5 because that's like so many years apart, and the graphics, everything about
the
it is so much
graphics,
different.
the because in all honesty,
Because I mean, the way I look at it is for like the standards of like that time period, San Andreas was a amazing game. I still think it's an amazing game. That's why I think it's the best Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, that's my my nostalgic games, and then I guess you can toss Minecraft on the list, but that's not really nostalgic. I like the game though.
I will say that because one of our other questions on this is what current video game brings you nostalgia like memories, and I will say without a shadow of a doubt, Minecraft for sure.
Yeah.
I think that Minecraft is such just a simple and sweet game.
Yeah.
And it does it brings back that little bit of nostalgia factor.
Yeah. Like I remember when I first started when I first like found out about Minecraft, it was through my cousin.
Okay.
Because he was playing a game on his phone. He was playing Minecraft Pocket Edition, but not just any Pocket Edition. It was Minecraft Pocket Edition Lite.
Oh god.
This version of Minecraft, chests were non-existent. Everything you had on you
was all you
every
could carry.
inventory space that you had was the only thing you could carry. You couldn't wear armor, you couldn't eat food, and it was like there was like it was like pretty much the beta Minecraft on PC, but on your phone, and then that was it.
That's
and like
so
the
funny.
caves, you didn't have caves. It was you just dug straight down, and then eventually you'd fall into like this big open area where it's kind of like an overworld, but there's stone. It's dark and there's monsters. That was it. And to me, I was like, "Yo, wait, that's kind of sick."
That's kind of rad.
But then he told me, he was like, "But you got to pay money for it," and I was like, "I'm what 5? Where am I gonna get $6 to play a game like this?" So eventually, like I had asked my mom. I was like, "Hey, mom, this is a really cool game that you can get on your phone or on iPad or whatever. I think it's worth getting." And I showed her. I was like, "Yeah, look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it," and I was really excited about it. And she bought it. She let me play whatever.
That's so good.
So, and I don't know. Every time I think about Minecraft Pocket Edition, I never think about like what the version is now with like everything that we have on PC.
It's always
I think
that one.
I immediately think back to Pocket Edition Lite, and when I dug into a mountain, and for some odd reason, I just dug into the mountain, would dig out like little rooms, and then just like make the inside of the room just black wool and put a torch and then like a window on the top, like a skylight. And I
Yeah.
would just do that throughout like an entire mountain. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm a fucking genius.
That's so good.
And then eventually, when I found out that Minecraft is on PC and that my really shitty computer at the time could run said game, uh, I started watching because when I was only playing PE, I would only watch like PE YouTubers.
Yeah, now you started
So
watching Java users.
yeah, and the first people I watched, like, because I would look up like this was like when like the only thing you could ever find on YouTube in terms of Minecraft PC was like just survival let's plays and like custom
Yeah,
maps.
like
Uh,
CNanners,
yeah,
Haxer Nova, Captain
dude,
Sparkles.
I can say this now. The three people that I watched growing up, like in terms of like Minecraft PC, were Uber Nova, because his series with what was it? This was like more like when Minecraft was like getting more and more updates. His series with what was it?
Sly Foxing.
Kutra.
Oh,
No, Kutra with like the Asgard. Dude,
okay.
I loved that. I've watched it all the way through, or at least like all the episodes that they have. I've watched it all the way through at least like 2-3 times. Then there was Captain Sparkles.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Tobuscus.
I didn't really watch the Buskins that much. It was more like if he popped up in my recommended from like all the videos I was watching, I'd watch him.
Yeah.
And then there was like this group of like a group of like three friends called Minecraft's Finest.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that so vaguely.
There was something about him that like not necessarily I could relate to in a sense, more like like you have Uber Action Nova and Captain Sparks, who like pretty much at that time I would say, and they're not necessarily in a bad way, but they were more like like more like professional, like today guys we're gonna be doing this and this and this, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas, and this was because also the reason I'm saying I like Micro Science a lot more is because I started watching their videos like pretty much like when Minecraft was in the beta.
Okay.
So I like it was kind of like I could relate to them in a sense of I'm playing the same version as you, and like also since they weren't like as professional, they were just a group of friends fucking around making like YouTube videos.
Yeah.
It was like they weren't afraid to like yell at each other, insult each other, and I found that funny as hell.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like it was always nice seeing like like okay in my sub box they upload a new video, watch that immediately while like I'm eating like dinner or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like as time went by, like faster and faster, and Minecraft got more updates, and they would play like adventure maps, custom maps like survival island stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And eventually, I was able to get my own like Minecraft account on like PC, and then now we're here.
Heck yeah. Let's see. Do you want to introduce the next topic, or should I?
What topic are we talking about? Like segment wise, or actual like topic?
The
segment.
Segment.
Oh, okay. I can introduce it. Okay. If anything, you can go first.
No. I'll introduce it. You go first because I think it's funny that mine is redacted currently,
according to the script that we are going off of.
Yeah, so we have a Google Doc pulled up, and
because our manager.
Oh yeah, our manager, aka us.
We made this like 5 minutes before actually recording this.
It's basically it has the description of a story that Deven's gonna tell, and then I didn't want Deven to know the story I was gonna tell, so I just put redacted.
I'm gonna be honest. You telling me that you don't want me to know it just makes me want to know it even more, obviously. But I'm setting very high expectations for you, not off of my story, just solely because if I feel like if you're not telling me until now, it has to be something I'd find fucking hilarious.
I think
entertaining.
I think that you will find it really entertaining. I'm not sure if I'll be able to give it the the pizzazz it needs to make it entertaining.
Pizzazz. But, what are we in 2015? I'm kidding.
What are you talking about? No, but it is. I think the overall concept of the story is just hilarious. Anyways, we should stop being so cryptic. This next topic is about injury related stories.
Teacher, let me go.
You okay? Wait, who's that? Wait, raise your hand, please.
Me.
Deven, go ahead.
Yay. Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome.
So I'm very cautious as a person. So, and this goes for like in terms of like if I see like someone doing a stunt on like a bicycle, like jumping over a gap or like a something,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do it solely because it's like I have that fear of just like, well, if I break something, that's gonna hurt like a bitch.
Yeah.
And it's like obviously like I can handle like I don't want to say a good amount of pain. I'm a fragile human being. not like not in a bad way, obviously, but more just kind of like
you are very aware.
Nobody wants to break a bone, obviously, but it's kind of like if I do something and then I get hurt. Like for example, when I fucking busted my ass and I thought I was paralyzed in my left arm because I like fucking smacked my elbow down so hard on my floor. I was like, oh well, this is the end for me, isn't it?
You're
lying here.
You're like a
on
pear.
The kitchen floor. What happened?
You're like a pear. Like if you get dropped, you immediately just get squished.
Yeah, but no. But yeah, no. So like, obviously, nobody wants to break a bone.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I do something and I get hurt, obviously, it's kind of like in my mind, I think to myself, I can't really be pissed that this happened. I did it to myself.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of like I feel like that. I feel like obligated to be like, I can't be a bitch about this. I did this to myself.
Yeah.
It's nobody told me to fucking jump off the Empire State Building. Nobody told me to do that. I did it on my own free will.
I told you multiple times not to jump off the Empire State Building, but you
don't talk about that. That's not.
You kept insisting that you'd be fine.
I had feather falling boots.
I had a slow falling potion.
Okay, but to get more onto the actual story, I've never like broken a bone. I've only ever fractured.
Okay.
My ankle. I've heard that fracturing is worse than breaking. I don't understand how.
Because to fix a fracture, they generally will actually finish the breakthrough, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think what it is, the difference between a fracture and a break. Again, do not quote me because I'm not a medical professional. But
Psyxi PhD.
What do you think the P in Psyxi stands for? PhD. I believe the difference between a fracture and a broken bone is that rather than the whole bone being snapped in two, it's more like there is a smaller piece of broken bone within within a solid bone. So it's more like you shattered your in multiple pieces rather than in a clean break like two pieces. I think that's the difference. Okay. Again,
I'm pretty sure that's the explanation.
I only have a PhD online.
I'm only an internet doctor. My sources are google.com.
What is it? Oh God, I can't remember the actual WebMD.
Yeah, but yeah. So I've never broken a bone because, like I said, I'm very cautious. But I've only ever fractured my ankle, same ankle, 3 times. Pretty much doing the same thing 2 out of 3 of the times. The third time, I was actually really pissed when it happened. I'm like, I was pissed when both of them happened. But the first time, me and my brother were playing kickball in like our yard.
Okay.
And
first mistake.
Younger me, I was outside. That's where I went wrong.
You can't go outside. You have to stay inside, Deven, at all times.
But yeah, so younger me was like, when I looked at like sports like baseball and like football and soccer and kickball, whether they be the same thing or not, I would always look at it as, hey, okay, like baseball, okay, the harder I swing, if I hit
the
that
farther
ball,
goes.
The farther it'll go. And I would use that philosophy for anything that required physical contact between two objects. So when it came down to football, if I throw the football hard enough, it'll go far. That's not true at all because younger me didn't know how to hold the damn football.
It was sideways
Uh,
in your hand, like.
it's sad because it actually was for a good amount of time, and then when I eventually was in school and like I had an actual gym class and we learned about it, I was like, oh, that's what the laces are for.
That makes
Oh,
so much sense.
yeah. But then it's also like with kickball and soccer. It's like once again, the more force I put into kicking it, the better. And younger me would play soccer like that. But
Yeah.
soccer and kickball are different in the sense that the ball is being pitched to you in kickball. So you have to
Yeah.
time it, not just have the ball at your feet. So what happened was uh, my brother pitched it to me, like so he rolled it on the ground. And also another thing to keep in mind is that this was before I knew that it was better to kick the ball with like the side of your foot rather than just straight up like
Yeah.
full on kicking it.
Yeah, like a ballerina kick where you like
Yeah,
point your toe and.
yeah. So I was the most humongous brain child ever, and
Big old
I
brain.
put all the force in the world that my little body could handle into
You're
into
like Deku in My Hero.
I was just about to make that comparison. I was like, I'm gonna pull a fucking Deku and use 100% of all of my physical strength in one part of my body, and not only kicking it, but slamming my foot down.
Oh no.
And the thing is, when I would kick as a younger child, small little me would kick and then like kind of like turn my body in a sense, or like turn my foot
Oh,
in a
okay.
sense.
Yeah.
So I would kick to the side and then slam my foot down sideways.
Oh my god.
And my God,
Mistake number two.
my God, when I say that this hurt like a fucking bitch, it fucking hurt. Because like the thing was that I didn't like fall down right away. It was more or less kind of like I slammed it down and I
You
was like,
stood there quivering
my
in pain.
it was like, my ankle kind of hurts. And it was kind of like the build up for like when it actually like happened. And then all the pain just entered my leg. And
Oh
then my
god.
brother was like, you okay? And then I just collapsed on the ground crying. I was like,
Jesus.
I can't feel my ankle. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I can't feel my ankle. And then he came to pick me up and he brought me back
And
inside.
your ankle was just
And
limp.
no, like when I say I couldn't feel my, I mean couldn't feel my fucking ankle.
That's
Like
nuts.
I was thinking to myself, I can no
Hmm.
longer use this foot. It is no use of me, or of no use to me. And we went inside, and obviously, like if like you like have like a swollen ankle or swollen anything, like
Yeah.
your first instinct is like put like an ice pack on it. So I lift up my pants leg a little bit. I take off my shoe, and my fucking ankle was purple, and that was the first time I'd
Oh.
seen my skin color any other color than my normal skin tone. So younger me was like, Mom, I don't think it's supposed to do
Mother, I'm
that.
turning into a grape.
Mother, I'm turning into a fruit. I need immediate assistance.
Oh
So the
god.
thing was, is that it wasn't like purple, like really like noticeable. It was more like how when you get a bruise, it's like kind of like black and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ankle was like it was bruised like really badly, like in one spot, and kind of like the rest of it was just like bruised, period, just black and blue. But one spot in particular was more like you could definitely say like, okay, that's purple. So
Okay.
we like already knew like where like the most damage was probably at, and I don't know why, but I come inside and my brother's like, he hurt himself outside. I'm like, obviously I hurt myself, but I don't think that it what just happened in my reaction. It warrants you just coming inside so calmly saying he hurt himself.
Yeah, he just hurt himself.
No big deal. But like they lay me on like our couch, and then my mom's like, "What happened?" I was like, "I hurt myself."
I hurt. Did you not
And
hear him, woman? I just hurt myself.
yeah, but so I explained. I was like, "Yeah, I kicked the ball, and then like when I brought my foot down, it was sideways, and I cannot walk, mother."
Jesus.
Uh, but yeah, so over time we obviously knew that I probably fucked up something in my foot.
Yeah.
But we were kind of thinking like, ooh, it better not be broken. Oh no.
Yeah.
So obviously, like I said, we knew something was wrong. So eventually, not like long after, obviously we didn't go that same day,
Yeah.
but like kind of like I didn't leave that couch until like we actually went to like get it like checked out. And
Jesus.
no, and it wasn't like in a sense that like we didn't know what to do. Like my grandma's pretty like smart when it comes to like medical stuff and like treatment. So
Yeah.
she's like, okay, try not to move it that much. Leave the ice pack on it. Once it gets like warmer, put the ice pack back on it. Here and there, put like a heating pad on it to like relieve stress on like the muscles, stuff like that. I was like, well, none of this really matters because, like I said, I can't feel my foot.
Yeah.
So we go get it checked out, and the doctor comes back, and once again, this was younger me. I don't know what he was saying. He goes, "So you fractured your growth plate," and he's talking to me, not like my parents directly. He's talking to me
He,
directly.
he asks your parents to leave. He's like, "Hey, I need to talk to your son real fast." Yeah, so you
So
fractured your
long story
growth
short,
plate.
and I'm like, I don't know what he was expecting me to do. Like, be like, yes, that makes total sense,
Yeah,
doctor.
that's
Thank
what
you
I
for
thought
this
too.
information. But yeah, no. So he's like, so he broke his growth plate, and what he did was, since it wasn't, or not broke, he fractured his growth plate, stuff like that. And he said, I don't need like a cast since I didn't break it, so it
Yeah.
doesn't need to be stiff. Not necessarily. More on the side of it's just what you call it? I needed to wear this like boot that was like really heavily cushioned,
Okay.
and like there was like not a bubble but like a button in a sense where it's like you would push it and then like it would inflate the cushions more, so give more support.
Yo, what?
It sounds cool, but it was a task and a half to walk around with that thing, and I still had to go to school with this on. The only perk of that was I got to ride the elevator, and then all of a sudden everybody's your friend because they want to go in the
They
elevator
want to
for
go in
some
the
reason.
elevator and want to carry your backpack.
No, they didn't even want to carry my backpack. They just wanted to go on the elevator. But yeah. So that was the first time. Second time, I didn't learn my lesson. I played kickball again. But this time I knew I had already learned. Don't put all my force into one kick and slam it down sideways.
Yeah.
But I was stupid,
And you did it
and
anyways.
I didn't kick with all my force, but I still like slammed it down sideways.
Yeah.
But the thing was, it's that I didn't do it in the sense I didn't do it intentionally, right?
Yeah.
What happened was we were in my schoolyard, and we were in a line. So like our team, it was like my team, or like my teammates and me, and then like the other team in like the outfield.
Okay.
So the ball was pitched to me, and this asshole kid behind me is like, it would be pretty fucking funny if I kicked the ball instead of him before he kicked it.
What the
And
heck?
I didn't like look at the ground to make sure I kicked it. It was just I thought I kicked it, even though I didn't feel the ball make contact with my foot. So I swung my foot up, thinking I kicked it, and then I
Yeah.
slammed it back down. I did the same exact thing I did the first time, and I fucked up my ankle. This time, though, I wasn't as fragile of a human, and I was able to limp over to my grandpa on the bench nearby and say, "Hey, Grandpa, we gotta go home."
I gotta go to
He
the
was like,
hospital. I think I fractured my growth plate.
"Yeah," but so like I limp over to him like, "Grandpa, we gotta go home. We gotta go home." No,
We're gonna go home now.
and he didn't
That's my
like
dog.
question it. He was just kind of like, so like he got up. He was like, "How come?" And then like we started leaving. I was like, "I fucked up my ankle."
It's like again.
But the thing was, it's that lucky for me at the time, my grandpa would like come pick me up in his van,
Yeah.
so I didn't need to like which one? I didn't need to like walk all the way back to my house with a fractured ankle again.
Yeah.
So which so we finally get back to my house, and then my grandpa's like, he said he hurt himself at the schoolyard, and part of me was like, this is, I feel like I've been here before, bit of deja vu. I fucked up my ankle, and people don't seem to care that much.
Oh no.
But we get home, my grandpa's like, he said he hurt himself in the schoolyard, and that's why he wanted to come back so soon. And then my mom's like, what happened? I said, I hurt myself again. I hurt my ankle again. And I was like, I think it really hurts. I can't feel it, and then immediately it was kind of like I think it clicked with everybody. Oh shit, he did it again.
So okay.
So we brought it back, or we brought it back like it's like amputated. We go back to like the doctor. He checks it out. He's like, "You fractured your growth plate again." Gives us the same boot. This time we kept it. I'm pretty sure we still have it somewhere in our house.
Yeah.
If not, I don't know where it is now. But pretty much the same treatment. We uh, we do the whole process. It didn't take as long this time because I would like to think that it was partially because like as like you grow older, it's like your bones become like
Stronger and
stronger,
fuse
I
better.
guess. Yeah. So it's like this. Obviously, don't take my word for it. I'm no PhD. I don't even have a P in my name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That is a prerequisite.
But yeah, no. So apparently, I would like to think it was like because
Wait, you
that
do have
younger
a D
me.
in your name for doctor.
Stop that. Stop.
You're welcome.
But I would like to think it's because like as I got older, the big boy bones started coming in. They got stronger,
Big old
and
strong bone.
they were able to kind of not necessarily like I don't know how to describe, but I'd like to think it's because of that. So same treatment didn't last as long because it wasn't as bad this time, but it was the same exact ankle, same exact spot, my growth plate.
Yeah.
Uh, and then the third time, I didn't fracture it or break it. I sprained it,
Okay.
which I'm I forget if it's like if like in terms of like severity, it's like I like face value at least. I'm pretty sure it's like sprained, fractured, then broken. I think that's like in terms of like from like least to like worst, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in this to this day remains a mystery to me. But my cousin, who is overweight, comes stomping down the stairs. I kid you not. The interaction goes like this. He goes, not he goes. I go, "Hey, where you going?" And he just comes in, just kicks my ankle in.
What?
No warning. Doesn't respond to me saying, "Hey, where are you going?" He just does it, and then he runs down into the basement of my house to go play with the kids that are over.
What?
And I'm just sitting there on the ground, like it didn't hurt right away. It was more just I looked at my ankle, I was like, "That's red."
That's red.
And
That's
then like
purple.
it was like it was red at first, but then it started like bruise,
Yeah.
but not like badly. So like I'm sitting there on the ground, like, what do I do? Like I can't get up to my ankle. And then my other cousin comes out of my apartment and he's like, "Hey, what happened?" I was like, "I'm hurt. Can you get my mom, please?"
Please.
Like I wasn't like crying or anything like that. It was just kind of like I was on the ground. I can't get up, and I'm not gonna trust a 5-year-old
Yeah.
to pick me up. So I say, "Hey, can you get my mom from upstairs?" He goes, "Why?" And I'm like, "Hmm." And I show him my ankle. He's like, "What's wrong with him?" I'm like, "Can you just go get my mom?" He's like, "Okay." And then he comes back down. My mom's like, "What happened?" It's like Matthew kind of like kicked my ankle in, and like my cousin didn't get any form of punishment for it, but whatever.
Capitalism,
And
man.
yeah, but we didn't go to the doctor about it because, like I said, it wasn't bruised like that badly as the other times.
Yeah.
But we also kind of took that risk of saying, "Hey, he can still walk on it, just we can't have him put a lot of pressure on it."
Yeah.
So we used the boot still to like help like heal it, and then eventually it was better. I could walk fine, but it was kind of like, why? What prompted my cousin to just bash my ankle in
Yeah.
and then leave? But yeah, that's my stories.
Okay.
Pretty similar in cases, and I feel like I rambled on a bit too much. But let's continue with you, redacted.
Redacted. So first off, I don't think that my story, because my story doesn't entail breaking anything, um, or
Have
like
you ever broken a bone?
I have not.
Uh,
Yeah, I think the worst I've done is like sprain my arm.
mm,
So I just had to have it in like a sling for a while. Um,
mm.
which is actually the like the reason my arm was in a sling is because of this story. So set the scene. Basically, I was maybe in middle school when this happened. Uh, in middle school, I had a super cool bike. This bike was black and purple. It had skulls on the seat. I had purple grips, purple pegs, and I actually still have the bike out in my backyard. So basically, me in 7th/8th grade, I can't remember exactly. I had gone to a mall that's really close by. It's just down the street from my house. So I'm like riding the bike there, right? I get there, no problem. I lock it up. I go inside, do mall stuff. I don't know what you do at the mall anymore. I don't go to the mall anymore. I'm not hip.
Thievery.
Yeah, thievery. I committed arson in the mall. But basically, I finished whatever I'm doing in the mall. I think I just went and grabbed like food or something for the food court. And I'm like, cool, time to ride my bike.
In the mall.
In the mall. No, I
want to see me jump over the opening in between the walkways.
You want to see me freaking slide on the pegs down the escalator? So basically, for a form of reference, in the at the mall that I had gone to, there is a large hill that leads up to kind of where I parked my bike. So naturally, as I'm riding my bike away, I'm picking up a lot of speed.
Like as you're going down the mountain?
As I'm going down the hill.
The hill.
Yeah, and as I'm going down the hill, I'm naturally gaining a lot of speed because if you don't know, that's how physics works.
Yes.
That's how momentum works.
A long drive can definitely help with that explanation.
Exactly. So basically, I'm riding down this hill, gaining a lot of speed, hitting at least Mach 7. And so first off, I start seeing like cars driving up towards the mall. I have to like dodge out of their way because I'm going that fast. I'm like dodging out of their way.
It's like the opening to Sonic Adventure 2.
Exactly.
You're going, like you fall out of the plane.
I'm going
just like
way too fast.
Running around at the speed of sound. Places to go, gotta follow it,
Exactly. Perfect.
Continue, my bad.
So I'm dodging cars, and it got to a point where basically as I'm driving, as I'm riding my bike, there's a car that is I'm about to hit it, like I'm real close to hitting it. So I can either choose to hit this car right at like going full speed. I'm going at least like with the hill and me pedaling as well. I'm going at very least 15 miles per hour. So I can either choose to hit this car at 15 miles per hour and probably do damage to me and the car, or there's an empty parking lot that is like right off to the side of it. So of course I'm like, well, I don't want to get hit by a car. Empty parking lot. I know I'm a genius. So as I'm riding, like as I ride into the empty parking lot, I look back to like look at the car, to make sure that they're okay, to make sure I'm okay, yada yada yada. So I look back, and as I'm looking back, I don't see the storm drain ahead of me, and my tire is just thin enough to slide in between the grates on a storm drain. So I hit it, right? Going like, again, at least 15 miles per hour. Probably, I think faster. Probably more closer to like 25. So I hit this grate. The front wheel drops in, right? And I get flung over the handlebars. So I get flung.
You felt the quick time event.
I literally felt the quickest time event I've ever felt in my life.
You just didn't see press X and then you didn't time it correctly.
Yeah, I didn't time it correctly, and then the cutscene played out where I died.
The screen turned red, you died, and then you just see like the car in the background. you see like in the top left corner it says random pedestrian in car will remember that. Like, what are they gonna remember? Seeing a fucking 15-year-old bust his ass?
Seeing more closer, like it was closer to probably like 12 to 13-year-old bust his ass.
Even worse.
So I, right. I think that's the end of it. I fling over the handlebars, and I was like laying there for a bit, kind of in shock.
Is this how I die?
And I look, I sit up, right, because I'm like, cool, whatever. Somehow,
cool. I just flew off of my bike over the handlebars at like Mach 20 speeds. Okay, I'm on the ground, stunned. This is fine.
I was like, okay, whatever. That just happened. Cool. I am I'm sitting there, and I sit back up, and through my dazed and confused vision, I see my bike heading full speed towards me. So,
wait, hold on. Didn't it fall, like the tire fall or get stuck
I thought, Deven, I thought it did, but here's what happened apparently. Because so it had hit the grate. It had basically flipped, so it flipped me over the handlebars, but by doing so had flipped itself over to land flat on its tires again and run directly into me. Again, it maybe cut its speed in half, but it was still going real fast. So I had just gotten ran over by my own bike, thrown off the handlebars, and I'm laying there, and I could feel like the blood like dripping from my head and like my arms and stuff, and they're all scraped and beat up. And I'm sitting there, and I think it was purely because of shock, because it didn't hurt too bad, but it was purely because of shock. I'm sitting there just crying, just legit, just waterfalls out of my eyes,
and nobody came to help.
No, well, I'm in an empty parking lot pretty much. So I'm sitting there for a while, and eventually, this very nice group of people kind of drive up, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna call an ambulance just to make sure you're okay." Very nice.
Just
people.
make sure I'm okay. I have blood dripping from my arms.
I'm dying,
up and bruised. I'm paralyzed on the ground. I just got run over by a bike and nearly a car.
But yeah.
Call the paramedics to make sure I am okay. So thank you, civilians.
I'm sitting there for a while. The ambulance gets there, or no, it wasn't an ambulance. It was a fire truck. So the fire truck gets there.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because it was apparently it was a whole thing where like they deemed that it wasn't like, it wasn't life or death. I wasn't gonna die, and the fire trucks have all the stuff to bandage me up.
So yes, here's a band-aid, young one. Patch yourself up.
The firefighters get there. They patch me all up. And kind of like a little bit of a backstory about me and my like family. My uncle is a firefighter. So I was talking to them about him and stuff. I get all bandaged up, and basically I go to like the hospital, and they're like, yeah, you're gonna need
you covered in like Hello Kitty bandages.
Pretty much, that's all they had left. They put me in a sling, and that's pretty much the whole story. It wasn't nearly as as interesting as yours, but I just thought it was really funny.
It wasn't very interesting. I would say I just kind of not good at sport.
Not good at sport. We can sum both of ours up. Just not good at outdoor
activity. Neither of us will be in the Olympics or the X Games.
Exactly. I now have a crippling fear of storm drains.
And you're just not very good with quick time events, it seems.
It's a shame. But yeah, that's my my little story about injuries.
I still find that really funny how it's just like you're sitting there, blood dripping from your arm,
and then my bike gets
scraped up, just to add insult to injury. And then when someone finally comes up to get you, they're not like, "Oh my god, okay? Do we need the ambulance?" Nah, they walk up to you nice and calmly. We're gonna call the fire departments. Just to make sure we don't know 100%, but
we can obviously see that you're bleeding.
We can obviously see that you seem to be in shock and perhaps paralyzed on the ground, and bleeding from your arm. But hey,
you need
that's not our call to make. And then the fire department finally gets it. It's like, yeah, you seem pretty banged up. Here, come with us. They like pick you up, sit you down like on their truck. Like, we got just a thing for you. It's like they come back out with like a box of Hello Kitty bandages. It's like, put these on.
It was
It'll fix it right up.
so wild.
How's your bike doing?
It is still my bike's in perfect condition. It has some flat tires because I haven't used it.
Ah, yes, it's good to know that your bike is in perfect condition. As
Yeah, no,
13-year-old you was not.
My bike was in perfect condition. Me, however, was not.
On the brink of death.
Yeah, I was pretty much dying. Yeah, or at least my 13-year-old brain thought I was. I guess
this is how it ends.
With that said, with us finishing up our injury stories, let's wrap up the this episode because we are getting pretty high up in time, and I think that these lovely people that are listening to our show need to.
They don't want to listen to us complain anymore.
They either need to go to bed, they don't want to listen to us complain about our lives anymore. Yeah. So first off, again, thank you guys so much. If you made it all the way through this, you're awesome. You have officially listened to two guys ramble for about an hour and 40 minutes. So round of applause to you. Absolutely fantastic. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for sticking through with us. And we hope that we could have at least made whatever activity we're doing during this podcast at least a little bit more interesting.
I hope you laughed at least once. Otherwise, I failed my job as not a comedian, just someone who is on the internet.
Just the town funny guy.
Yeah. Wait.
What? Of course, we have to do this. We have to plug the social medias again. But hey, you got an hour and 35 minutes of pretty much just right at the beginning, then none. But guess what? We have to circle back to it. So all of our links to everybody that's in the Garbage Gang, all the links to join the Garden Discord, to follow the Garden Twitter, they're all going to be in the description. Maybe
subscribe to our OnlyFans where we post previews of the podcast.
It's just
you thought it was going to be 18 plus. Haha,
no, it's just behind the scenes footage.
It's just behind the scenes footage of us yelling at video games.
Exactly. But yeah, please do follow, subscribe. All of the social medias down in the description. It would be very much appreciated.
Also, feel free to comment if you'd like any ideas or any topics you'd like us to touch on, or any subjects we can talk about in the next podcast.
Me and Deven are pretty much experts at almost everything. So literally, you could put down theoretical physics, and we'll explain it to you guys.
I actually took physics my last year of high school. I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't anything crazy, but I'd like to think I have some form of understanding of the subject.
That'll be in the next podcast. It'll be in the next episode. Theoretical physics.
Oh. Why do your clothes get darker when you're wet?
Huh? Why do I?
That doesn't have anything to do with gravity.
Yeah. Why, if water's clear, why does it have a shadow? Huh? All these questions will be answered in episode 2. Yeah, other than that,
once again, thank you for listening to us ramble.
Yeah, thank you for dealing with us.
Long this is.
Again, I'm Psyxi, or the first ever competitive Twizzler eater of the 20th century, and I've been joined by my lovely friend and co-host Deven. Do you have any last words you'd like to say before we send them off?
No. The only thing I would say is just touch on and continue, as you said. Feel free to join our Discord. We have a lot of cool people there, whether that be the main 4 of the Garbage Gang, or our friends and other people that are in there.
Yeah, feel free to stop by and say hi to us.
Yeah, and if you make anything, whether that be art, designs, even photography, feel free to join and you can share with us. We have a channel specifically for that. Everybody's very open to giving thoughts and feedback, I would say, on everybody's work. We all appreciate the effort people put into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that said, we will see you guys later. You guys have a good one.
Goodbye.